How to get your ex back. Introduction. There are literally thousands of couples across the world who have broken up with their perfect partners, for them, due to very simple misunderstandings. It's sad to think that many of these breakups could have been completely avoided if each person just had a clearer understanding of what their partner was thinking and what they wanted from the relationship. Unfortunately, because men and women are biologically so different to each other, there are specific things we each do that can easily drive a partner away rather than keeping them close, as we'd intended. Of course, you may be hurting. You might even be completely bewildered as to why your relationship has ended at all. But the reality is that good relationships break up all the time. Needlessly. That's right, needlessly. If men and women had a little more awareness of how the opposite sex was thinking, then breakups need never happen. In fact, you could have turned your relationship with your ex into a lifelong happy partnership where neither of you would ever consider looking further afield. If you've recently broken up with the love of your life, don't feel that all is lost. There's still hope that you can win your ex back, and it's actually easier than you think. Even if you've tried everything you can think of to let your ex know how much you want to be together, perhaps you have noticed it's not working out the way you'd planned. The problem is that we're not taught about how the opposite sex thinks, so it's mostly a mystery to most people. We're stuck trying out tactics that we think may work without ever considering what our partner would prefer instead. This book will explain some very simple tactics that can give your ex a completely different view of the person you are and get him or her to fall in love with you all over again.
Do you want to boost your professional, financial, social, relational, and sentimental life?
Are you looking for reliable ideas, advice and methods that work to be successful in your life?
Are you fed up with negative thoughts and all around you?
Would you like to replace doubts with confidence, depression with hope, and laziness with action?
Welcome to DreamLife.cool podcasts, which will help you to restart, to find a new and crazy motivation, and to carry out your important and motivating projects.
These podcasts can be listened to anywhere, anytime. Enjoy. Subscribe, it's free, so you won't miss a thing.
Are you ready to bring your ex back into your life again? Are you really ready for them to fall in love with you, deeper and stronger than the first time around? Then let's get into the good stuff. When good relationships turn bad. It's unfortunate that sometimes even the very best relationships go sour. But, even if we cannot see it at first, there is always a reason. There are actually countless reasons why good relationships turn bad and end up with a breakup. You might have endured meaningless arguments, or you might have simply found that your ex stopped communicating with you completely and then pulled away, leaving you in the dark about what was happening. People who are hurting and unsure of where their partner is at in the relationship often end up doing the exact opposite of the things they should be doing to bring their ex back to them. This is because men will tend to do the things that seem logical to a man, and women will tend to try the tactics that they would want to see. It is a big lesson to learn that men and women think differently. Applying male logic to the problem of winning back a female is usually counterproductive, as is the reverse, that is applying female logic to the process of winning back a male. The really sad part about this is that, despite their best intentions, in these situations, both men and women tend to do things that will actually turn off and push away the person they really want to bring back into their lives, and without even knowing they're doing it. This means they're often doing the complete opposite of what they should be doing to bring back their ex and make that person a part of their lives again, yet they're totally unaware of it. Think about it. Is what you're doing right now to get your ex back working for you? Or is it just driving that person further away from you, making you feel even worse than you already do? Let's look at some of the things men and women think about during relationships and how they view the actions of their partner. These insights can often bring about a much deeper understanding of what might have gone wrong within the relationship and bring a deeper knowledge of what to do when good relationships go wrong. Men and women are biologically different. You may think that this is stating the obvious, but apart from the obvious differences, There are vital hormonal and other biological differences that set us apart. For example, did you know that in order for men to decrease their stress levels, they'll often look for ways to increase testosterone? This means they'll watch the news when they get home from a long day, seeking to find ways to spark their own fix-it mode. This means they may enjoy grappling with other people's problems because it sparks a need within them to try and solve the problems of the world. That may be what he is thinking about even though he might be stationary on the sofa. He will be unavailable for real-world problems while he is getting his own stress levels sorted out. When their testosterone levels are raised, they'll feel much better about the world and seek to remedy their own problems only after they've calmed down enough after a hard day at work, where they've spent the day trying to show their loved ones how much of a good provider they can be. Unfortunately, women have the completely opposite biologically drives, which can cause problems within a relationship. For example, when a woman has increased testosterone levels within her body, it can actually increase her stress levels, causing her to want to fight about trivial matters that her partner can't possibly understand. In order to reduce stress levels, women will find ways to generate the hormone oxytocin. Curiously, oxytocin is known in non-scientific circles as the cuddle hormone, and it's been linked strongly to maternal behavior as well as being the bonding hormone that makes a woman want to bond more strongly with a partner. Now, for women to create oxytocin, they need to feel loved, cherished and appreciated. When they tend to feel as though their partner is withdrawing from them, for any reason, this actually causes the hormone testosterone to flood their system instead, which raises their stress levels and can tend to make them defensive. For a man to experience a decrease of testosterone, conversely, he experiences a similar reaction where his own stress levels increase and this makes him defensive too. Interesting stuff, eh? How hormones can ruin a great relationship. Think about how many times you've been in a great mood, looking forward to seeing your partner. You would have spent the day doing things that made you feel better about yourself. If you're female, you might have spent some time working through your stress by talking to your girlfriends about various issues you have, which would have raised your oxytocin levels. You would have been feeling great. Yet, when your ex finished work for the day, he would have been stressed and wound up after a hard day. He has absolutely no desire to talk about his problems because this increases the wrong type of hormone within his system. All he wants to do is unwind, maybe solve the problems of the world sitting in front of the TV for a little while. But he's now faced with a partner who wants to talk and share and cuddle and be loving right at that moment where his stress levels are high and perhaps even unmanageable. He hasn't had a chance to unwind from his own stressful day yet, but he's now confronted with a partner who's feeling fine and doesn't seem to understand his needs at all. This is a simple example, but do you see the problem here? Even the best relationships can be destroyed by these simple hormonal differences between men and women if there's a lack of understanding about them. Of course, there are relationships that go wrong for other reasons. When relationships go wrong for other reasons, what happens when you've done everything right and your ex still pulls away from you? There are times when relationships go wrong for no reason that you can figure out at all. You may have thought everything was going great, and yet your ex decided to stop calling you, stop returning your messages and pull away from the relationship completely as though you weren't there at all. The shunned partner often feels as though they've done nothing wrong, yet the partner who has withdrawn completely may have completely different ideas about where the relationship was going in the first place. The truth is, when humans fall in love, they release a particular hormone that is very similar to the one released by people suffering from obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD. This is one reason why people in love can't think of anything else but the person they're with. Can't eat, can't sleep properly and can't concentrate at work. Of course, just because you're feeling this way doesn't necessarily mean your partner was feeling the same thing at the same time as you were. Just as not everyone gets hungry at the same time, not everyone gets the same feelings at the same time. The unfortunate part about this is that sometimes one person within the relationship will begin to think about progressing the relationship further. They'll spend time thinking about the future of and playing out various scenarios within their minds about what will happen once the partnership progresses past the dating stage. This can lead that person into believing that the relationship has actually evolved into something much deeper than has really happened, whilst the other person may simply be still trying to figure out what's going on with their feelings. This is sometimes called the instant relationship. One partner thinks they're just dating whilst the other one is already in full relationship mode and wondering why their partner doesn't appear to be reciprocating. The biggest mistake anyone can make in this situation is to try to convince their partner that they should be together or convince them about how much they love them. When men see this behavior in women, it can be enough to make them want to slow things down or even break away, wondering what is going on. They view their partner as somehow needy and desperate, and they can sometimes pull away or even withdraw completely. Desperation and insecurity in a woman is a total turn-off for men. Yet, there are plenty of men who are guilty of doing the exactly same thing to the women they adore. They may try to convince her that no one loves her as much as he does and try to reason with her that he's better for her than another man. The problem with these scenarios is that they have no real grasp on what they're doing wrong.
We're coming to the end of part 1 of this podcast. Thank you for your attention. If you would like to listen to the rest of this podcast, and also to receive the linked ebook, you can click on our site, https://dreamlife.cool. Then you click on training, then training platform, then you choose the English category. Then you create an account, and you can pay with your credit card securely through Stripe Gateway.